Hello and welcome. A lot of people wonder about the return that they're getting from training, but very few actually try to work it out. I'm Pete from Learning Elements, where we help businesses change behaviour and increase performance, not simply deliver training. And today, we are going to understand the core components that you need to at least start to understand your training ROI. Okay, let's make this real. Your training ROI will obviously be made up of the return you get from your investment. Let's look at the investment side first. Your investment in training will be made up primarily of two components. The first one being the cost to produce the training. If you buy direct from someone, a training program, or outsource, then that's more likely a fixed cost, a definable cost, although there are still some other costs involved which relate more to time and money, because regardless of whether you're building it yourself or whether you buy or outsource from somebody else, you should, I hope, you're doing some form of training needs analysis, and there's time and investment involved in that. You will be having meetings with key stakeholders. You will be going through some sort of review, possibly some sort of approval process, and then in the times when you are building them yourselves, building the training yourself, there would be a design build component to the cost to produce that training. And then second cost, second investment into your training is the cost to deliver. Possibly, if you need to go external, there's some room costs, bookings. Those of us lucky enough to still have catering involved in training, there may be some additional costs. The main cost to deliver the training will again be the time and the salaries, the money involved for the attendees, people in the room. Possibly a separate session for sort of management, leadership training. That's often a separate session. And then, depending on the situation, there may be an investment in time into a trainer. So a way of increasing the skill of a local team or a different branch to continue this delivery in the future. There is a sort of third 2A component to the investment into your training, which is more the business as usual part. So I would hope that we all have coaching, support, follow-up sessions, maybe some assessments, some refresher training, activity that happens after the main training event that you consider as sort of business as usual. It spans more than simply one training session. It's still technically, why not technically, a component of the investment that you make into training, performance review sessions, things like that. Okay, there's our investment. Now we want to get a return, and our return will either be an increase in something or a decrease in something. The obvious one for increase is an increase in sales or an increase in the number of customers. Could be an increase in productivity. The same people being able to perform something better or faster because they are more skilled now, a process improvement, things like that. An increase in revenue. So possibly linked to customer numbers, not necessarily. Could be more revenue from the same customers, same number of customers. could be additional revenue sources, additional products, but an increase in revenue, an increase in referrals. We certainly know that effective training and regular training leads to an increase in employee satisfaction and usually customer satisfaction as well. And then lastly, retention. So retention of, again, your staff and your customers, keeping the ones that you have. All right, or our return may be a decrease in the costs of doing business, a decrease in churn, so the reverse of retention. Could be churn of customers, could be churn of staff. And importantly, and often overlooked, is a decrease in risk. These could be legal obligations, a decrease in your reputation, your brand, or a decrease in sort of fines, penalties, something along those lines. So, our training return is made up of what does it cost to produce and deliver our training compared to what is either increasing or decreasing as a result of the training. However, right now we don't know how to actually understand the return that we are getting. These are the components that we can look at to help us calculate the return that we are getting, but we don't really know what it is until we can measure what is happening today in all of these areas versus what is happening after training. And we won't know that unless we are measuring these things. And so in our next video, we will look at how do we start to measure these components to really start to get a good understanding of our training return on investment.